Welcome, welcome back to the DFS Sweatshop. I am your host, the DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. And we had another insane day of scoring in the NBA DraftKings world, and I'm starting to think that this is just how it is, man. Wow! I mean, at the beginning of the season, teams are putting up astronomical amounts of points. Players are the best players are playing the best. A lot of excitement, a lot of fun, a lot of running, a lot of scoring around the DFS world. And let's just jump into kind of a quick recap on everything that we saw tonight, things we can take and learn going forward into the next slate. Remember, this is an 82 game season. This is a long grind. So if you haven't come out on the positive side yet, you've still got a lot more opportunity in order to do so. Okay, so what you see behind me, this is my best lineup, and once we do our quick recap, I'm going to go over my best lineup. Unfortunately, last night my best lineup, or one of my best lineups, is the one that I had in all of my single entry GPPs. Tonight's best lineup did not make the cut for some reason. I think I made too many. I made like 11 lineups. This is one, it did cash pretty well for me. I think it was at 325.75. We'll get into that in just a moment. But first, let's take a quick recap of the games. Now, the first game we had tonight was on ESPN. It was a game that we could all view on ESPN, and it was a Cleveland Cavaliers at the Toronto Raptors. And LeBron James, of course, he had a pretty decent game. Didn't really return the value that you would expect from a player so good, but Crown Royal Apple. This show is brought to you by Crown. Whenever I cash, I have a Crown Royal Apple. That's good stuff. All right. So we had LeBron James with 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 7 assists. We also had Kevin Love with 18 points, 10 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal, and 2 blocks. Kyrie went off in this game. He led all scorers with 26 points. He had 6 rebounds, 6 dimes. We really got no help from the Cleveland bench if you went that direction and you wanted to roster somebody thinking that, hey, this game may get out of hand. We may need some bench help, maybe a little scrub love. There was none of that this game. Kay Felder didn't play, coach's decision. Jordan McRae didn't play, and these were guys in the preseason that were lighting it up. So they gave us a reason to believe that they were going to be somehow a part of the rotation. But if you were keen and you stuck to Twitter and you understood what the beat writers were saying, you knew that Iman Shumpert had recovered quickly from his concussion and that he was going to be in the lineup. He didn't do very much, but he played 20 minutes. So leading the way in minutes in this game was LeBron James. He had 38 minutes in this game. You also had Kyrie Irving who played 38 minutes. Now, the game was competitive throughout, and that's why these guys were able to play this much minutes. And minutes equal usage equals points. Okay, that's something that we want to keep in mind going forward. On the Toronto side, I was wrong about this call, man. I really didn't like DeRozan in this matchup. I knew I kind of liked Lowry, and he had 17 points, 2 rebounds, and 4 assists, but DeRozan went off, man. He had 32 points, 7 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals. So, I mean, I'm being convinced slowly but surely that DeRozan has taken that next step in his career and really wants to be one of the better players in the NBA. So we know he took less money to come back and sign with Toronto, and maybe he sees something here. And hey, man, I mean, he's been playing well. First couple games of the season, he's been playing very well. We had Jonas Valanciunas, 10 points, 17 rebounds, no assists, no steals, a block. He had a pretty good game as well. I mean, you hit the double-double on us the way he did, you know that you've had a pretty good showing. So Cleveland subsequently won this game, but there was a little bit of fantasy goodness for you. Kevin Love really had a really good game. Even Tristan Thompson, he made his presence felt in this game. Also, he had 11 points and 10 boards. So if you took a chance on Tristan Thompson, it definitely returned dividends and met value for you. The next game was a game that I had my hat in a lot. It was the Indiana Pacers against the Brooklyn Nets. Now, the Nets were at home, and they were a home dog, but they beat the Pacers. And a lot of it was due to what Jeremy Lin did. Man, this dude had an insane game. And a lot of times, you're going to hear me say this throughout the DFS season, especially when it comes to basketball. A lot of times, football too, a lot of times we were on the right track. And I liked this game a lot. There was something about this game that I really liked. One guy was Thad Young, who I really like, who had a really nice game going back to Brooklyn and playing against his former team. But Jeremy Lin was actually the star of this game. Like, he went nuts, bro. Let's look at his stat line. Was really something to be admired. He had 21 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists. Now, he fell just a couple plays short of the triple-double. So if you had Jeremy Lin in your lineups, you did see a really nice return on that $6K investment. Trevor Booker, who I was on already, had a really good game. 10 points, 11 rebounds, 2 assists, a steal. Brook Lopez had a kind of a bounce-back game in 25 minutes. He had 25 points, 5 rebounds, and 1 assist with 1 steal. Now, Brook Lopez can actually be a big point-per-minute player, so we're going to keep our eyes on him going forward. This was definitely a confidence-building win early in the season for the Brooklyn Nets, so we want to keep our eyes on them. Now, Rondae Hollis-Jefferson, in 24 minutes, he only had 2 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. Now, that's not very encouraging going forward, and Louis Scola ended up having 14 minutes. Justin Hamilton was somebody to look at. I had him in a couple spots, and he got 8 points and 7 rebounds. Now, 3.5K, that's a pretty decent return on that salary. On the Indiana side, Miles Turner, he really didn't return value for the 7.1K that we spent on him. I knew it was kind of a fluky the first game, so I really didn't touch him anywhere. But he was able to go out and get 13 points and 11 rebounds. He also had 3 blocks, which were big for him as well. Paul George, 22 points, 9 rebounds, just shy of the double-double bonus, 2 assists and 2 steals. I said that Young had a really good game, 19 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, and 1 block. George Teague, disappointing. He was, looked at halfway through the day. I said to myself, you know what, George Teague may be somebody who I really don't want to play because everybody was on him. All the pods are talking about him. You look at Roto Grinders was on him. Everybody was on him. Fantasy Labs. Everybody was saying about how good Jeff Teague. He was even in like Beer Maker's Fantasy 6. You know what I mean? 6-pack or whatever. And had a shitty game, bro. He played 28 minutes, 4 rebounds, 4 points, 3 rebounds, 7 assists, and a steal. Now, 6.3K on a slate like this, where you could have rostered Tim Frazier at a lot cheaper, that's really no return on what you invested in him. Next game is going to be the Detroit Pistons at home against the Orlando Magic. Now, I really liked the forwards in this game. I thought that the threes were really going to get off, so I had some. I had a great deal of Tobias Harris. I had some Marcus Morris in there, and those guys played pretty well. Leading the way in minutes was Marcus Morris. He had 17 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists. Tobias Harris had 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists. But Andre Drummond, man, he kind of was the story in this game. 12 points, 20 rebounds, and 1 personal foul. So he was on the floor a lot. Played 27 minutes, quality minutes, and was able to get the double-double bonus and play a really, really good game there against all of the different bigs that I thought were going to go in and, hack them and stuff like that. But that didn't happen. He had a good game. Now, KCP kind of disappointed me. I had him in one of my main single-entry GPP lineups. He finished with 5 points, 1 rebound, 1 assist, and 2 steals. Very disappointing in 23 minutes for KCP. So, Ish Smith ended up with 16 points, 2 rebounds, 8 assists, and a steal. So he had a pretty good game. Aaron Baines came off the bench had 13 points, 3 rebounds, 1 assist, and 1 steal. On the Orlando side, Aaron Gordon really got into the mix. He played 29 minutes, had 17 points, 7 rebounds, and 2 steals. Ibaka, another disappointing game for him. And I wonder why over on FanDuel his price was so low. Maybe they know something that we don't know. Because, I mean, he stunk up the joint, bro. 4 points and 3 rebounds. 1 block. That was it. That's all we saw from him. So that was a really horrible showing. Fournier, not a very good day. 27 minutes, he had 8 points, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 blocks. Elfrid Payton had a pretty decent game. He had 15 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. Off of the bench, Mario Hezonja played 24 minutes and had 13, 2, and 1. Now, the next game we're going to get into is going to be a game that we should have had a lot more invested in, man. This guy's salary is going to go through the roof. Doing what he's doing, I don't know how the next time we see his name on a roster, it's not 12K. I mean, this dude had a freaking ridiculous game. And I'm talking about none other than Russell Westbrook. In 45 minutes, now this game went into overtime, so they did play a little extra, but in 45 minutes, this guy had 51 points, 13 rebounds, 10 assists, got the triple-double, 2 steals, and he shot 17 of 44, 38%. This is a bad shooting performance. He scores 51 points in a bad shooting performance. 15 free throws out of 20 attempted, and he's, if you look at the line, him and Depot, man, they really hooked up and they got it going. Depot had 43 minutes, 21 points, 5 rebounds, 2 assists, and 2 steals with a block. And that's pretty much all you saw. Now, something that was kind of surprising here, and we could have stacked this game and had, you know, money to pay up elsewhere because Roberson got into the mix. Now, let's think about this because Durant is gone. Somebody's got to pick up where he left off when it comes to, you know, light scoring, light rebounding, things of that nature. And it was Anthony Roberson. He had 9 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 steals. This dude had 5 steals. And he's a pretty good defender. He's a pretty good defender. He had 5 steals. But he didn't defend tonight as well as he should have because the guy that I liked and who I had in a lot of spots, TJ Warren, went the fuck off. When I got the information that Tucker really wasn't going to be playing a lot of minutes, he was going to be limited in his minutes, I was like, fire up TJ Warren. And I had him in a lot of different spots. He went out, had a career-high 30 points, 9 rebounds, an assist, and 3 steals on 13 of 18 shooting. Now, 72% shooting is an aberration. It's not going to happen a lot. This is probably the best game that we're going to see from TJ Warren all year long. But it was a really good game, and that's why I have the crown apple. Tyson Chandler snuck up the joint. And 38 minutes of Tyson Chandler, you get 5 points and 10 rebounds. Devin Booker, 21 and 6, with an assist. You had Eric Bledsoe, 17 and 5, with 6 assists and 3 steals. Brandon Knight, who I hate, and you're going to understand that, came off of the bench and had 19 points, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, and 1 steal. Now, back to the Oklahoma City side of the ball. We really thought that Cantor was going to get more involved. We thought the bigs were going to be more involved in this game. But, man, I mean, you got 9 points and 10 rebounds from Adams. You had 12 minutes from Cantor. When does Enes Kanter play 12 minutes? I mean, he wasn't in any foul trouble or anything like that. So, I mean, he got 12 minutes. He's like one of the best offensive rebounders in the league. And he really didn't see the floor. Is he not fitting into the rotation, what they're trying to do? I'm not sure, but we want to keep our ear to the streets on that and see exactly what's going on with why Enes Kanter is not getting the run that we thought he would get coming into the season. The next game we're going to get into is going to be the Charlotte Hornets at the Miami Heat. Of course, you know how much I love Whiteside. I had him in a lot of different spots. He's one of my favorite NBA players. He just has unrelenting hustle. He played 26 minutes in this game, 20 points, 15 rebounds, and a couple blocks. So he did meet value the way that you would expect him to. Was kind of a surprise in this game was Justice Winslow. In 32 minutes, he had 10 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Now we really thought that he would pack more of a scoring punch coming into this contest, but against Charlotte, man, and Nick Batum, man, and Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, he wasn't really able to do a lot. We had Tyler Johnson with 28 minutes, 12.6 rebounds. Goran Dragic, 14 points, 4 rebounds, and 9 assists. Just shy of that double-double bonus we were looking for. On the Charlotte side of the ball, oh man, really good game from Kemba Walker at 24 points, a rebound, 4 assists, and 2 steals in 31 minutes. Leading the way in minutes was Nick Batum. He had 12, 6 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. There was nothing like overly telling about this performance. The only thing is, a lot of us, I got off of Roy Hibbert. I didn't think that he was going to do what he did the last game, so I got off of Roy Hibbert. And 4 minutes into the game, I think he injures his knee or an ankle, and he doesn't finish the game. So we saw a lot of Spencer Hawes, who had 10 and 9 with 2 rebounds and 2 blocks. Now, at minimum salary, that was a really, really good return if you had the stones to go out and only pay $3K for Spencer Hawes. Next game we're going to get into is going to be the Houston Rockets at the Dallas Mavericks. Now, I thought this was going to be a fantasy scoring bonanza, but it really wasn't. The game was a lot less high scoring than I thought it was going to be. Leading the way in minutes, of course, was James Harden. He had 35 minutes, 26 points, 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and 1 steal. Pretty much, I mean, I can live with that, but for the 11K that we spend on James Harden, we need 5 times value. See, the point of spending that much in salary on a player is not only is it that you're gonna get this player with this upside to be so great, but it's the high floor. You look for the floor to be at least value. So when we roster these guys at 11K, 9K, 10K, we're thinking this guy is going to get, if 9K's guy's going to get 5 times value, he's going to get 45 points. 10 times value, he's going to get 50 points. 10K, he's going to get 50 points. 11K, he's going to finish with 55 points. And he fell just short of really making the true value that it takes to cash heavy on a slate as big as the one that we just witnessed. So Trevor Ariza had kind of an awakening. He had 27 points, 4 rebounds, and a steal. Ryan Anderson didn't shoot the ball very well. He had 5 points and 4 rebounds. Aaron Gordon is somebody who I had in a lot of different spots. He kind of filled up the stat sheet a little bit. He had 18 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists. On the Dallas side of the ball, how about Harrison Barnes, man? A gentleman who I kind of look up to a lot, man. Josh Lloyd, Red Rock Basketball. He talked a little bit about Harrison Barnes and how he may fit into this offense. And he was right, man. Harrison Barnes, 31 points, 5 rebounds, an assist, and a steal. Wesley Matthews, 13 and 4. Bogut grabbed 12 rebounds. J.J. Barea started this game and only had 10 points, 5 rebounds, and 5 assists with 1 steal. Now, 3.5K, that was a nice return if you took a chance on him. Darren Williams, 14 and 4 assists, and they got no help off of their bench at all. So the next game we're going to get into is going to be the LA Lakers at the Utah Jazz. This is a game that I kind of got wrong. Yesterday, on the last show, I was like, yo, this is going to be over the 201. This is going to go over that. Well, it really didn't. And now we see that maybe Utah is that defensive team. Even though we've been seeing pace-up games everywhere. Even Utah had a pace-up game the last time they played. I think that was a lot in part due to Joe Johnson, shooting that high percentage and doing well. But Lakers got taken apart, man. The leading scorer was Nick Young. When Nick Young leads your starters in scoring, we've got a problem. We had 17 off the bench with Lou Williams, who actually led the entire team in scoring, and Lou Alding had 12 points and 12 rebounds. But really bad shooting day for D'Angelo Russell. Randall, 27 minutes at 7 points and 4 rebounds, which is something that you could kind of figure with Favors being back and Gobert being in there, and this being just an overall Utah being an overall good rebounding team, offensively and defensively. And on their side of the ball, Joe Johnson in 31 minutes had 11 points, 6 rebounds, and 2 assists. The leading scorer was George Hill, who I loved all day long. There was a lot of spots where, I thought about taking one of the cheaper point guards, and I was like, man, I'll just take George Hill because he's right around that same area, and he's gonna play well, and he did. He had 23 points, 3 rebounds. We really wanted to see the assist numbers get a little higher to try to hit that double bonus. He only had 3 assists and 1 block. Derek Favors in only 20 minutes had 15 points and 9 rebounds. Favors is coming. He's back. He's gonna be back. So we can look to roster him pretty soon. Once we get the news that he's getting this full allotment of minutes, he's going to be somebody before the price goes up that we can be on and roster him with confidence. Rodney Hood in 32 minutes had 15 points and 6 rebounds. A lot of people was on Hood. I kind of didn't like him a lot. He had an assist and a steal as well. But I really wasn't I wasn't really on him very much. Shelvin Mack came off of the bench in 22 minutes and had 9 points, 4 rebounds, and 1 assist. Now, this is an Exum watch because he's somebody who I really like and who I think is going to be able to, really crack into the rotation and be that 6th man off of the bench. He played 21 minutes and only had 4 points and 2 assists. My Trey Lyles days are over. I'm done. I'm done. Trey, if you're watching this, it's over between us. We're done. We're done, Trey. 17 minutes for Trey Lyles, 6 points and 2 rebounds. Nothing. It's over, Trey. We're done. I won't be rostering you anymore until you show me something. The last game we're going to talk about, Golden State Warriors taking on the New Orleans Pelicans. Now, my better judgment was telling me not to fuck with Anthony Davis. He just scored 100 damn near points. He's not going to do it again. But I had to get him in a few lineups just because this guy is so good. Every third game he gets injured, but this guy is so good that I had to take a chance on him. And he only went out against Golden State Warriors and had 45 points, 17 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. A really great game from him. Tim Frazier, who a lot of us were on all day long, had 21 points, 6 rebounds, and 10 assists. Lance Stevenson jumped off of the bench and had 15 points, 8 rebounds, and 6 assists. Dante Cunningham also had 15 points and 8 rebounds, so it was a pretty good game for the New Orleans Pelicans altogether. They were in it the entire game, but Kevin Durant, man, he really helped them pull away at the end. He had 30 points, 17 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks. I'm talking about filled up the stat sheet. Had a really great game. Upwards of 70 fantasy points almost. Draymond had 8, 11, 7, and 2. Josh Pachulia, he hit the double bonus. I believe right around 3.8K, so that was a really good return on your investment. He had 10 points, 11 rebounds, and 1 assist. Klay Thompson snapped out of that little slump he's been in since the finals, and he had 28 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, and 2 steals. Curry, God, Curry's my player today. He was somebody who I had in so many. I was 85% Curry today, and it really tanked a lot of my lineups because, like I said earlier, I'm looking for, at the very least, the floor of 5 times value. You see, lower price players don't have that floor as 5 times value. When I started the forward from TJ Warren. I started TJ Warren, the small forward from Phoenix, and at 4.4K, I wasn't looking for. I'm like, man, his floor is not 20-something points. You know what I'm saying? That's not his floor. Hopefully, he can get in high double figures. That's what I'm thinking. But he goes out and he scores 47 fantasy DraftKings points, right? But the better the player is, the higher the floor is, and the more confidence I have in rostering them at that price and meeting that 5.5, 6 times value. But Curry did not do that for me tonight. He finished with 23 points in 34 minutes. He had 1 rebound, 7 assists, and 1 steal. Now we see how the addition of Durant is kind of eating at everybody else's numbers, but Durant's getting his. So I'm not sure if this is a team thing, if they've decided, hey, Durant, this is your show, do your thing, or if it's gonna be a tug of war at some point. We're gonna have to follow this closely as the season goes on. So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna jump into today's slate of games. It is Saturday. Well, before we do that, this is my best lineup here. My best lineup finished with 325.75 DK points, and let's get into it. And I wish I had like a little boom, boom, boom for the last play, because the last play sucked. But let's get into it. We had Tim Frazier. Tim Frazier, man, had a really good game. We talked about his stat line already. I started the lineup with him because I knew he was going to be like cheap value. He was going to be a starting point guard. Anytime you can get a starting point guard for around the 5K range on a pace up game, which is going to be handling the ball a lot, that was a good play. So I started Tim Frazier. I went with Eric Gordon because I just wanted to get a piece of that Dallas and Houston game. So Eric Gordon finished with four rebounds, 3 3-pointers made, 6 assists, 18 points for 32.5 DraftKings points. We talked about TJ Warren already. Had a really great game, 9 rebounds, 30 points, 3 steals, and assists. He had 47.25 DraftKings points. Thad Young, probably the play who I had just as much as I had Curry. I really like Thad Young going back to Brooklyn, and he did not disappoint. He finished with 38.5 DraftKings points. Hassan Whiteside, probably my favorite fantasy player to roster on the nightly basis. 15 rebounds, 20 points, 42.25 DraftKings points. George Hill, who I said I liked all day long, 33.75 DraftKings points. Your boy Anthony Davis here, who's averaging 47 points a game, real life points a game in the NBA this year, had 80.25 DraftKings point. And the stinker, man, the stinker. Now, Bismack Biyombo. Now, seeing how bad they had been playing, Orlando had been playing on the block, especially with the big forward that likes to step out and shoot threes. I can never remember this guy's name, but he likes to step out and shoot threes. I thought that while he was out there chucking up threes, Bismack would be under the bucket, cleaning up the boards, getting putbacks, offensive rebounds, second chance points, getting fouled, maybe going to the line, hitting 1 or 2 free throws. And at 2.5% owned, I was in position with Bismack Biyombo to really make some noise in this GPP tournament. But he finished with 7.25 DraftKings points. He only had 3 rebounds, 1 block, a turnover, and 2 points. So, fuck him. He is on my piss list. He's lucky this lineup cashed, because then it would be a pissed pod, and then he'd be done. He'd have to show me something. So he is on my piss list for really ruining this awesome lineup. 325 points. Bismack, horrible. So what we're gonna do now? We're gonna jump into Saturday slate of games. We're gonna jump into today's slate of games. This is Saturday, October the 29th, and the first game we're gonna get into is the Atlanta Hawks at the Philadelphia 76ers. This is Odd Shark that we're on. Really good site for getting those point totals for you, because you know the first thing we do as serious DFS players is we like to see what Vegas is thinking, especially when it comes to point totals. And here we've got a We've got a we've got a 205 money line. Excuse me, a 205 point total here, with a -7 going in favor of the Philadelphia 76ers. So they're going to be getting 7 points in this game. That's not a lot. That's not a huge amount to say that the over under is over 200. So there's a few players I like in this game. Of course, I like Paul Millsap. I like actually like Dennis Schroeder in this game, and we also saw uh, Rodriguez, the point guard, really get off. And Schroeder is not a very great defender. I mean, he's decent, but Rodriguez is going to be a really cheap play tomorrow. So that's somebody, and this is a 12:30 game. I don't know how that plays into the later slates, but of course Al Horford is going to be in play. Jeremy Grant is somebody I like in this game. I like Robert Covington in this game. I think there's a ton of ways, a myriad of ways you can go in this game to actually, get some quality plays in. The next game we're going to talk about is going to be the Orlando Magic taking on the Cleveland Cavaliers. Now, both of these teams are on that back-to-back. It went. Where did it go to? Well, yeah. Let's talk. Let's talk things first. Let's talk them first. Yeah, let's go ahead. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we'll do the Boston and Charlotte since it's the 7 o'clock game. This is going to be a 206 over under with a -2 going to the Hornets. The Hornets are going to be getting 2 points in this game. Now, this game is in Charlotte. I like Kemba at home. I think just because Boston is such a really good perimeter defense, a lot of people are going to be off Kemba Walker. So I like Kemba. Kemba balls out at home. So he's somebody who I'm going to have in a couple spots. And when you like Kemba, you gotta like Nick Batum. So I also like Al Horford in this game as well. He's somebody that we can look to too. And Isaiah Thomas has been on a really nice tear lately. I think you roll with the hot hand, and you get him. You just you get him in your lineups. Sorry about that. Okay. Uh, so I like Avery Bradley in this game. I like both front courts actually. This is somewhere you could really pick up a lot of points. Especially, I can't reiterate enough that Kemba Walker being at home is a big deal. And we want to keep. We also know that Hibbert is not going to be an option. So it does open up cheap value at center when we talk about Spencer Hawes, when we talk about Amir Johnson on the other side. So he's not there to clog up the middle. So you could see a really fair rebounding and points game from either Amir Johnson, Cody Zeller on the other side, Spencer Hawes. Frank Kaminsky is going to be questionable, so we're going to be checking on that news as the day develops to see if he's in or if he is out. Next game is going to be the Cleveland Cavaliers at home against the Orlando Magic. We want to really pay attention to what these players are doing to come off of this back-to-back game. Cleveland really exerted a lot of energy, I think, to beat Toronto last night. So we want to be sure that we're getting this game correct when it comes to the players, because Kay Felder didn't play last game. We talked about this already. Jordan McRae didn't play, so they may see some playing time. We may get some scrub love from them in this game since they didn't play last game. I like Kyrie again. This -11. So Cleveland is giving up 11 points. We already just talked about the scrub love, so you got to look at Jordan McRae and those other cats. But I like Kyrie in this game. I like Kevin Love. I also, on the other side of the ball, I like Vucevic. I think he's going to be a really good play. Fournier on the perimeter might be good because Cleveland does struggle to defend perimeter shooters. So there's a few good plays that you can get from this game as well. We're going to move on to the next game, and that will be my New York Knicks at home against the Memphis Grizzlies. Now, away from the grindhouse, these cats don't play the same defense. This is a very good defensive team. This is probably one of the lowest over-unders on the slate. It is at 197 with New York giving 2 points to Memphis. So I like Mike Conley in this game if I have to go somewhere. Of course, I would like Porzingis in this game because he can draw the bigs out and shoot the 18-foot jump shot or even a three-point shot in some respects. Carmelo's is probably going to play well and put up a decent amount of points. On the Memphis side, you got to think JaMychal Green may be in play. Zebo may be in play. We want to keep an eye on how many minutes Marc Gasol is going to be getting because we knew that he was on a light minutes limit. But overall, this is probably like a stay-away game for me. As you can see, this is the 25th and 24th ranked teams in the league. They're both really not very good. So if I don't have to go there, if I'm not looking for value there, I won't roster them if I don't have to. Next game we're going to look at is the now this is going to be a funny game because you know it's the New Orleans Pelicans going to San Antonio. We've got the 27th ranked team in the league taking on the 7th ranked team in the league at home. This is a 204 over under with a minus 13.5 going in favor of the San Antonio Spurs. So I don't know what to make of this shit because when you try to guess Pop's head, he does something else. So I think I may stay away from this game altogether. The only player that I might like in this game is going to be Kawhi Leonard, and maybe some Patty Mills because you don't know. I mean, if they blow him out, who's gonna get the run? Who's gonna get the scrub love? It's gonna be Jonathan Simmons. It's gonna be Kyle Anderson. It's gonna be Patty Mills. It's gonna be some new guy that we've never heard of that Popovich found somewhere floating down a river wrapped in cloth. Like who knows? Who knows who's gonna be the next man up? To really make an impact as far as San Antonio's bench is concerned. And since we don't know that, I'm gonna stay away from this game altogether. Even Anthony Davis, I don't like Anthony Davis in this game. This is probably gonna be my first real fade of Anthony Davis this season. Plus, it's the third game, and he gets hurt every 3 games. So this game, pretty much on the New Orleans Pelicans side, is a stay away for me. Next game we're going to look at is going to be the Indiana Pacers going to Chicago. Now, Indiana's coming off a back-to-back. Chicago rested. I think Dwayne Wade is definitely in play again. I like Jimmy Butler in this game. A lot of times, though, last season, these two guys would cancel each other out. Jimmy Butler and Paul George. They would play such great defense on each other that they would have middling games, but the other guys would go off around them. So that's why I think I'm going to take a stab at on the Indiana side, a rebounder, maybe Thad Young, Miles Turner. This may be another game we can use Miles Turner. Monte Ellis is always in a good spot whenever Paul George isn't doing well because they need that scoring punch. It's got to come from somewhere, and Monte Ellis is a chucker. George Teague may be a play. It may be like a little combo play with George Teague and Monte Ellis. This is the 11th ranked team in the league, and the Indiana Pacers taking on the 19th ranked team in the league. And this season just started. It's a 210 over under. That's a nice amount of points for us to get a piece of this game. You're gonna have the point guard for Chicago, Rondo, really pushing the tempo. So it's gonna be a fast-paced up and down game. The same thing from the Indiana side. So I can see a light game stat coming in here. I can see some correlation plays taking place. You like a front court. You like maybe Chicago's front court and Indiana's back court, or vice versa. I can see some stuff transpiring, in the right direction for you there. If you take a shot at a 210 over under, probably one of the largest point totals of the night. Next game is going to be the Brooklyn Nets going to Milwaukee, and you already know. You already know. You already know. 205 over under. Give me all the Giannis. I like him today. I like him today. He's going to be in a fair amount of my lineups. Brooklyn is the 30th ranked team in the league. Milwaukee, the 29th ranked in the team in the league. So that means they're almost equally bad. I like Giannis Antetokounmpo tonight. I like Jabari Parker. I like Brook Lopez in this game. I even like a little Greg Monroe as a sleeper. Not somebody who's very cheap, but this as a sleeper. Somebody's going to go low owned, who's going to have that ability and that opportunity to get, you know, the cheap double-double with a block and a steal. So that's some way we can go in this game. Also on the perimeter, I kind of like Bojan Bogdanovic in this game. I don't like Jeremy Lin very much. I think because of what he did last night, I don't see his price going up very much, but I do see the ownership creeping up. I'm not gonna fall for the Jeremy Lin. I'm a Knicks fan. I know radio time is with him. The next game we're gonna get into is gonna be the Portland at Denver. Now this is where all your late night hammers come in, and I really do believe a Lillard, Monte, Teague, Giannis would be nice. I think that would be a nice lineup. A base to start with, and then fill in where you need to. But I really like I like him tonight, man. I like him tonight. This is a 211 over under. You've got the 13th ranked team in the league as the Portland Trail Blazers with the 21 ranked team in the league. Now remember that this is Odd Shark. This is something that you can all go on yourself. Like, it's not like something that I like found or did something to be a part of. Like, it's free and it's on the internet. And it's easy to use. But back to the game. I like Dame tonight. I also like McCollum. I like Plumlee in this game. I also, more than Plumlee, I like the other guys on the Denver side. I like Nurkic and Jokic. I really like them. I probably wouldn't roster both of them in the same lineup, but I think that we can definitely go Nurkic, or, you know, if we want to find that value, because Nurkic is going to be, I think he's going to be a little cheaper than Jokic. So this is going to be a really good game to target in that high over-under. Portland is really not great defensively on the perimeter, so Moutier is even in play in this game. Now we got to keep our eyes open to see if Gary Harris is going to be playing. I know we had some issue with Kenneth Reed. We're going to have to find out if he's going to be playing. This game, this could be a game where we really, the real Arthur is another one. Of course, Festus Ezeli is out indefinitely for Portland, so this could be a game that we kind of hang our fantasy hats on, right? And this is going to give you that late night hammer status too. When everybody scored their little bit of points during the first round of games, bam, you come in with a Damian Lillard hammer. Last game of the night, and this is probably going to be like the most, it's going to be the highest point total of the night. I can see it just looking at it. And this, oh, no, it's not. Surprisingly, it's a 205 total. Now in this game, I like Cat and I like Boogie. I like Cat and Boogie in this game. I also like Ty Lawson in this game. He's gonna be somebody that you can roster, a middling level, smaller price starting point guard. I kind of like him also in this game. You've got Ricky Rubio on the other side. I think I'm gonna do some with Monte and well, I'm gonna go Monte and Teague, but I'm also gonna go Rubio and Levine, because Kings pace up, Minnesota Timberwolves pace up. That will allow you to still be a part of some of the big players. You can still get the bigs. You can get like Cat. You can get Boogie in your lineups. So what we want to do here, we want to just maximize on the value that we find. Now throughout the day, I want you to keep your eyes on Twitter find out who's in, who's out, who's inactive, any bits of information that'll help you along the way. Because I'm telling you, what made that lineup that I showed you was when I found out that Tucker was going to really see that decrease in minutes. He was going to be limited so much that I was going to have TJ Warren on the floor most of the game. The dude played 45 minutes and had 47 fantasy points. That's more than a point per minute, slightly. So this has been your DFS Jerusalem, and you can follow me on Twitter at DFS Jerusalem. There's still a couple spots left for the fantasy, the DraftKings football challenge that I issued to everybody. It's a $5 buy-in. There's 200 spots. The top 3 get paid. The rest watch all of us, because I'm going to be in the top 3. And again, it's your DFS Jerusalem. Thank you so much, man. In 3 weeks, we're almost at 500 followers. So like, subscribe, share, do whatever you got to do. Let's take this thing to the top. I appreciate all of you. Thank you. And y'all have a wonderful Saturday. Let's cash big and let's make some sweats.